Today we have 21 cars to look at, everything from mainline Hot Wheels through to some super premium models, and this includes two brands that are new to me that I have never added to my collection before. And we're going to kick things off with the latest Kaido House Mini GT collaboration, Datsun 510 Pro Street. This is the fifth version of this car that I have picked up. I know there's at least one more, a black version that is relatively difficult to get. Although I think they're bringing out another issue of those. That if you want to go and try to get those, you can go to the Kaido House website and fight with the crowds to buy one. I will not be doing that, but I will buy any of the relatively easy to get releases. So this is in kind of a nice mint green, which I guess is the original color for these Datsun 510s from Kaido House, from Junamai, who's behind this. These wheels on this are fantastic. It's a different design than they've used on the other ones, or maybe it's just the colors, but it looks really good. It looks great with this really super deep dish on the rear, and as always on these models, they're very well done. So this is more of a Kaido House release than it is a Mini GT release. It is a collaboration, but this is not. Mini GT is true 1/64 scale. This is not true 1/64 scale. This is larger, just like the Hot Wheels releases that Junamai designed. But you get an opening hood, with a pretty nice engine detail in there. But nothing significantly different than the other releases of this car that we've seen in the past. It's a very, very cool model. So it's hard to resist these. So very happy to have another one. And I'm sure I'll be picking up the rest of them. So the next release coming out is going to be the wagon version, which looks pretty cool. And they've already announced 4 different versions of that before the first one's even come out. So they are milking this. But you can't blame them. They're selling, so that's what they're around for, is to make money. All right, so Johnny Lightning Flames, 1966 Chevrolet pickup, one of 3600 Miho exclusive. Nothing too interesting on the back. This looks pretty cool. Johnny Lightning is pretty low on my list of favorite brands. I've had a lot of quality problems with them, and their castings, they tend to run small, and you get a lot of these wonky tires. Like their tires are too soft or something, and this one's no exception. They're always just a little bit off to me. They have some cool castings, and they are, although their new castings now are supposed to be true 1/64 scale, which is actually pretty good, and that definitely increases the appeal of the brand to me. I don't think this is I can't imagine this is a new casting. There is a date on there. Yeah, the 2004, the plain Mantis casting. But it doesn't look too far off from size, but it's pretty cool looking. I think this has an opening hood. You can see down in there, there's a nice engine in there. And it closes pretty good. It's not too bad. I mean, the wheels are a little out of round, but it's a cool looking truck though. It's got a steel plate graphic on the side along with the flames. That's pretty neat. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Yeah, nice. Okay. Next, we have a very interesting model from Inno64. And it's not interesting because of the car, necessarily. I'm not really the biggest fan of this car. But it's interesting for something that we're going to take a look at once we get it out of the package. So this release comes with this little tiny Moto Compo scooter thingy, which is kind of cute. And get this thing off the base. Take a look at it. So, of course, this is a Inno64. This is a new casting. So this should be a metal base, and it is. It's a metal base. Little tiny car. It's going to be true 164. It does roll. It doesn't roll great, but it does actually roll. And it's going to be your typical Inno64 detail, inserted headlight detail, and here you have inserted turn signals. Same on the rear. And very nice interior detail. See if we can get a little zoom in on this. Get some two-tone seats in there, which is cool. And got some detail in the dash, which is also pretty nice. But what is significant about this particular casting is that, as far as I know, this is the first Inno64 release that has an opening feature. So it actually has two opening features, and the panel gaps are they're very tight, which makes it tricky to open. But it is. There we go. So hopefully I didn't just open that too far. Let's zoom in and see what we can get in this engine. So you definitely get some above average detail in there for a 1/64 scale opening hood engine, which is pretty cool. Which is what you would expect from Inno64 doing opening parts, and it closed up pretty good. So that's nice. And then you also get an opening rear lift gate, and this one looks particularly tricky, so I'm going to risk damaging it. There we go. Just to show the opening part, even though there's not really anything in there to see. Let's see, does the scooter thingy fit inside there? Can't imagine it does. All right, I'm not. I think you might be able to get that in there. I'm not entirely sure, and I'm not going to spend time on that. But it's pretty cool. So I mean, the question is, how do you feel about that? And I have to ask that question of myself. How do I feel about Inno64 introducing moving parts? Because I definitely consider moving parts to be a huge hit or miss thing on 1/64 scale models. Generally, you get you really pay a price in the panel gaps. I think they've done it as well as anybody can. The panel gaps are not bad at all. And in fact, if I didn't know that this model was supposed to have opening parts, I probably would have missed that just from looking at it. So from that perspective, I guess it's not a bad thing, but I don't know. That's going to be a little bit of an open question. I guess we'll have to see what else they do with it, because there are certainly much more interesting cars that they could utilize the opening parts feature and do something really interesting with them. So we'll have to see how that develops on their future releases. I haven't seen anything else really announced so far that has a moving part, but I could have missed it. So we'll see. But I thought that one was pretty interesting. Next, we have from Tarmac Works another notable release for several reasons. The first is that this is a brand new casting from Tarmac Works Global 64, so the Vertex Sylvia S14. But this also represents the first release of this new packaging. So this is the new Global 64 packaging. And I want to just say, Tarmac Works, you get 2 thumbs up for this because your old packaging was horrible. And so I'm very, very happy to see that they went to this much smaller box. And it's way more compact, still reusable, has the window on it, which is nice. So that's a slight improvement over what Mini GT does. And if you don't remember what I'm talking about, this was their old packaging. And I complained about this a lot. And a lot of people liked it because you could reseal it, but to me it was terrible. I'm not going to go into it again, but I'm very, very happy to see this. It's much less wasteful, cheaper to ship, which I guess was the primary motivator for them to do this. Because the cost of shipping from Hong Kong and those other things were very wasteful. And then, now the cost to ship a container from China to the U.S. has increased from like $2,000 to $18,000. Although that's still screwed in, that's a little disappointing. I don't know why they feel the need to screw it in, given that Mini GT has been shipping models like this in this same style of thing with no screw. So it seems kind of pointless. But anyway, so we get a Sylvia S14. This is, like I mentioned, brand new casting. Oh yeah, okay. Slick tires. That's a little bit unfortunate. But you do get, inserted headlight detail. You have a nice air cooler or whatever, intercooler. Exhaust looks like a separate piece for the exhaust. Inserted taillights. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm not going to say this is the most exciting release that Tarmac Works has put out in the Global 64 line, but I know that there's a lot of fans of this car, so it's pretty cool. And I'm happy to have a new casting in the line, and I'm very happy to have revised packaging because I shouldn't complain, but I'm really bothered by the amount of plastic that I throw away after every one of these videos that I make, and it's highly disturbing to me. So anything that reduces that is a win to me. So this is another brand new Tarmac Works Global 64 release. It's not a new casting; it's just a new version of this casting. So they did a police livery on the Aston Martin Dbs Super Leggera. This is a livery from the video game Need for Speed. So it's a fictional police department that only exists in the video game world. But I thought it would be... Oh, that's right. These are screwed on. Yeah. Why? God, what is it with this company that in their packaging? Anyway. All right. This is such a cool casting. Just overall, I love this casting of Aston Martins in 1/64 scale that I've seen. This is definitely the best. Not this particular version. The other ones. The first 2 releases, one in green or kind of a yellowish green, and one in red. Those are absolutely fantastic. Although this looks pretty cool. I wish this were a real world police livery, not a video game police livery, but it's pretty nice. So you get your inserted headlight detail and painted taillight detail, looks like, or maybe there's an insert in there and it has paint on top. It's a little bit hard to tell. I think it's just painted. But this is cool. It's an awesome car, though. Love the car. Beautiful. All right. Next, we have some Hot Wheels. I finally, this one's a Q case car. What is this? The Shelby Cobra 427 SC, nice red color. I, for some reason, hadn't picked this one up already, but it's a nice version of the Cobra casting. Looks pretty good, nice metallic red, or maybe more of a pearl red, I guess you might say. It's very nice. And then we have some A-case cars. So finally some new for 2022 cars with the Mighty K in Ryu's Rides as a tribute to Ryo Asada. And this is a funny little tiny pickup truck thing, which is pretty cool. It's got some, it's like the window piece gives you the headlights, which is kind of neat. I didn't expect to really like this thing, but you know, getting it out of the package, it's actually pretty cool. It's got a kind of funky off-center bumper, and yeah, this is actually pretty neat. License plate on the back, Japanese license plate. Yeah, it's cool. I like that a lot more than I expected. And then a casting that I really do like, the 19 Mercedes-Benz A-Class. I don't know what it is. I like this casting, so I collect it. And this one's a kind of a pearl blue, the white stripe on the hood, white wheels, looks really good, and you get full detail. So this one actually got 3 Tampo passes, and it looks, you know, this for a mainline Hot Wheels, this thing looks great. It's nothing to complain about for 94 cents. So, very cool. And then another awesome casting, the Mazda Ripu pickup truck. Well, let's see, Hot Wheels Hot Trucks in orange. Good detail on the front. Detail on both sides. Probably nothing. Oh, no, it does have rear detail. Look at that. What is up with that? Mainline with 4 Tampo passes? It's very cool. This is a good version of this truck, although there's a scrape in the paint there, and this side's really messed up. Not the best specimen of this in the world, but I'm sure this will be easy to find another one if I ever decide I want to. And the LB Silhouette Works GT Nissan 35 GTRR version 2 in red. The first version of this was in blue. Looks better in red. I was a little disappointed with the blue one. This definitely looks a lot better to me. So you get the headlights are part of the window piece. And you get front tampos, side tampos, and again, rear tampos. Am I imagining things that Hot Wheels typically only does 2 Tampo passes on main lines? This is 2 in a row that have 4 sides. But I am not going to complain. Looks good. Wow. There's some serious dust paint coming off of that Mazda. Lots of paint damage on that. Next, something that I was very surprised to even want to pick up, the Bad Bagger motorcycle from the Flame series. This thing just looked cool to me. It just looked fun. And for some reason, I actually kind of like these Hot Wheels motorcycles. I'm not really sure why. But this one's very cool. Does it stand up? It kind of does. It leans a little, but it's cool. And the last of the Hot Wheels and the coolest of them all, and the one that I was most looking for, the Porsche 935, the Hot Wheels Turbo Series. And this is a new for 2022. Is this really new for 2022? I thought this was an older casting. That's 2021 copyright date. Interesting. It's pretty cool. It's got the rear wing's pretty chunky, but you know, it's part of the casting, so that's what you're gonna get. Looks good though. I think the recolor of this is going to be in black, if I remember right. But always happy to have a new Hot Wheels Porsche casting. So, cool. And next up, if I can reach it, from Tiny HK, we have the 1980s Light Rescue Unit, Hong Kong FSD, so that's their fire department. This is Tiny's release number 42. This is another example of the little van that we saw of a couple weeks ago in a Hong Kong police livery. So this one in fire livery with a ladder on top, which is pretty cool. Wasn't expecting the ladder. It's a nice surprise. Oh, this is actually a lot cooler than I thought it was going to be. This is just this funky little van, and I think it's the same. So here's the other one, and this one's awesome. I love the windows, and this thing came in this package where it was kind of set at an angle in a lot of plastic, like it was sinking in the water, and it made me think, you know. Man, if there's any vehicle that you do not want to be sinking in the water in, it is this one, because every one of those windows is reinforced with metal grating. You are not getting out of that van if that went in the water. So, but anyway, we're here to look at this one today. So, dually wheels on the back. So this is a metal body, plastic base. You have plastic tires on these. You do get inserts for headlights and painted taillights. And I don't think this casting has any kind of moving parts or anything. A lot of tiny castings do, but not this one. But this is really cool. I love this brand. It just their releases are just so fun and so interesting because, you know, given that I live in the U.S., you know, Hong Kong is a kind of exotic place, so it's cool to see some of these things that are a little bit unusual. Love it. Okay, next from Auto World, Surf Rod. So this is the first of the hobby exclusive releases of this new Suburban, which is pretty exciting. It's also exciting because it's a hobby exclusive release that is not a square body pickup. So it's the 1965 Chevrolet Suburban, one of 3,600. And surf rods, not a whole lot of interest on the back of this one either. So you get the box, you get the plastic blister that ends up in the garbage, drives me nuts. This looks pretty cool. I'm not a huge fan of these wheels. They're a little too blingy, and the tires, holy cow, look at that. What a mess. What in the world? Like, the tires don't even fit on the wheels. Wow. This has got to be one of the worst Auto Worlds I've ever seen. Normally, they do not have quality problems like this. And I'm sure that I can fix this because it is just the axle's bent or something. But man, that's very disappointing for Auto World because normally they are pretty solid. I love that the surfboards on the top kind of have a wood finish to them. Little sloppiness on this as well, but yeah. So this is cool, but it's it's a little, the wheels are just not right, and it looks like this, yeah, and it doesn't roll right. Yeah, interesting. Little disappointing from Auto World. You got the opening hood on this, which is, you get a huge gap on there. That's big downside of that. Painted details front and rear. It's an almost cool release, but these wheels, these are the same wheels that they used on that patina pickup truck that was so disappointing that I showed a few weeks ago. And it's a miss again on this one. That's really too bad, because it would be awesome otherwise. I love that casting. It's just such a cool casting, and most of the releases of it have been fantastic. No quality issues or anything at all. So next up from Sparky, we have a Mercedes-AMG Gt3 Riley Motorsports from the 24 Hours of Daytona. And if you're a motorsports fan, then you probably know that the 24 Hours of Daytona is, well, at the time of my recording this video, is tomorrow. And starts at, I think it's 1:30 Eastern Time, 11:30 my time, which is very exciting. And this is a really cool release. There will probably be a car running that's very similar to this. I don't know. I haven't looked at the GT3 class to see if they're running the Winds livery again this year. This one was from, what was it, 2019? Yeah, 2019. But the Winds livery is a classic livery. It's been run on a number of different cars. It's particularly famous for running on a Porsche 962. Probably in the early 2000s. And so, you know, your typical Spark model, nothing on the bottom. This one does seem like it's going to roll. Actually, this one rolls reasonably good for a Sparky. Giant wing. Got some issues there. Some cruft. But yeah, this is a fantastic release. So you got the kind of yellowed headlights like a GT3 car would have. And is this an insert? Or is it just paint? I think it's just painted. But very cool. Yep. Love Sparky. Great value for the detail that they put into their race cars. So another new release from Mini GT. This is the Land Rover Defender 90 pickup Chinese New Year edition. So it seems they just want to put this pickup truck out in kind of wacky versions. I know that there is a clean version coming, but this is a follow-up to the Christmas release, which was also very wacky. So you can see the very wacky livery that's on there. But I thought it looked pretty cool, so we're going to check it out. Anyways, so this is, take a look at the box real quickly, number 330. It's the Year of the Tiger. Is that what that is? And here we go. Red and gold. A spare tire on the hood. Let's see, where did I put the other? Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay. So this one gained the spare tire. Here was the Christmas release. This one gained the spare tire on the hood. And pretty cool. It's kind of a funny looking vehicle to me, actually. Just looks too short. So we have a steampunk Santa to go with the Christmas Land Rover. Yeah, this looks pretty cool. I'm definitely looking forward to getting this in a stock, more stock look. not so quirky, but this one's not bad. Happy to have it. Gotta have, I don't know, mini GT Land Rovers have a very hard time resisting. But next up from Aerocar, Nissan Gtr, Portuguese police car. This thing looks really cool. This is it's actually a organ transportation car. So it is the Portuguese police, but they use it to transport organs for transplants. So apparently they need a fast car for that. So they have this Nissan GTR, and this is a very, very cool release, and it comes with a little Portuguese police driver, very tiny. So let's see if you can actually put that in the car. This is the, it's just the typical Aerocar GTR casting. This is not the Nismo version. This is the standard version of the R35. So you are going to get, opening doors, which is both cool and a weakness of the casting at the same time, because they do not always, or they actually almost never close perfectly on these. And I believe it has an opening hood, but I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it does. Whether I can actually get it open or not is another question. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm imagining that. Alright, I'm not going to mess with it. So, this looks really cool. You have to appreciate international police cars, but let's see, does the little driver figure can you actually put her in there? I don't see how that's going to work. Every time I talk about Aerocar, I have to talk about how, in order to appreciate the brand, you have to appreciate its quirkiness, and this is definitely some quirkiness, because I have no idea. Like, maybe I can use some tweezers to position this figure inside the vehicle and get it to stay there. But anyway, well, she's in there. She's just kind of rolling around. But yeah, love this livery. It's just very cool. I have to play around with that figure and see if I can actually get her to sit in the seat correctly. Next up, so this is a new to me brand, small car art, and this is a Lycan Hypersport. If you may know this car from Hot Wheels. They put it out as a Fast and Furious release, and it's actually not a bad looking version of the car at all. So this one's a little bit more premium. So we'll see once we get it out of the package what, how premium is it really. I believe this was, well, actually, I don't remember how much this cost. I don't think it was cheap. And it's going to be one of those, okay. But we are going to take it off the base. So it looks like it's gonna roll, maybe. So it does kind of roll. It's not a great roller. You're definitely not gonna be sending this down a Hot Wheels track. It does have discs, brake discs and calipers behind the wheels, which is kind of nice. It's a very light model, So it's plastic base. It almost feels like a resin model, but it was marketed as diecast, and it does. It feels more like a resin model to me. Yeah, this definitely feels like resin. Normally metal's kind of cold. Yeah. I don't know. It's just very light. Ugh, look at that. It's terrible. Terrible. Yes. Okay. So the headlights are weird. Looks like there is a little insert in there. They didn't clean the flashing off of it correctly. And it just has two weird looking little circles. What did it look like on the Hot Wheels? Obviously it's just a tampo print in there, but yeah. Hot Wheels did a good job on this casting. Looks actually to be the same scale, same size. And it's, I mean, obviously you can tell it's a Hot Wheels. This area is, has just cast in detail with paint on it. But it's not bad at all. That thing, Hot Wheels costs $6. This thing probably costs $30. And these tail lights are just like painted plastic pieces that are put on there. Yeah. Huh. Interesting. This is pretty cool. I'm not going to say I'm super impressed with this. I'm spending too much time on it, I know. But interior looks kind of nice for what you can see of it. Looks like there's some different color in the steering wheel there. I mean, you can barely see anything in there, especially since the camera won't focus. But, well, it's a new brand. I've never gotten anything from this company before. I have no idea what other models, if anything, they have. This may be just one of these Chinese pop-up brands that pops up, puts out a model like this, and then disappears before they get slapped for not having the licensing, because I'm sure that's not a licensed model. But it's pretty cool. It definitely is. Definitely has a few issues. This base looks terrible, but it's the base, so who really cares about that? So anyway, my table here is becoming a complete disaster area. Next, another new to me brand, although this one is probably a little bit more well known. This is from Master, and this is the Land Rover Defender 110. I've been looking at these for a long time, and they've put out quite a few different versions of the Land Rovers. And I've just been waiting for the right one to grab, so I ended up thinking this one looked pretty awesome, being completely blacked out. And so we'll get this off the base and take a look at it. I can try to at least keep all the bits and pieces somewhat organized. So Master and Mini GT have kind of been in a race to see who can put out the best and widest variety of Land Rovers. And this one looks pretty nice. A lot of the versions of these that they've put out so far have much bigger off-road tires on them, which is pretty cool. This one's a little bit more similar to the ones that Mini GT has put out, but you got actually flexible rubber mud guards, winch on the front. You got to be really careful with this because these are very soft. Rubber spare tire. Some reinforcements on the windows. A little bit of cloudiness in the windows, which is a little disappointing. This rack is very nice. This is pretty nice. Pretty nice. Does it roll? Sort of. Definitely doesn't roll as well as the Mini GTs. So I had grabbed a Mini GT. So here's fairly similar-ish Mini GT. These are obviously, I'm going to say slightly different years, but clearly the same size. Lots of more detail on the base of the Master. Looks like there's discs in there as well. I don't see any calipers though. This is very cool. Very cool. And it also came with a little collection of bits and pieces to go on the top, which is interesting, but I never really quite know what to do with these. Because I'm like, am I going to glue those onto the top? I don't really want to. But if I just set them on there, then I'm immediately going to pick the thing up and forget that they're not glued down, and they're all going to fall off, and it's going to be a mess. And because at least Mini GT, they give you the bits and pieces, but they put them on, and they're stuck on there. I think that's actually the better way to go. But this does give you the option if you don't want it. You don't have to put them on there because it looks pretty awesome either way. So, very cool. This is very nice. I'm going to need to get one of those with the bigger off-road tires. And another off-road vehicle, the Jimny Sierra. Kauai Jimny Sierra. And Aerocar, of course. Sky blue. And another one that comes with a little thing. I mean, I guess is that a surfboard? Okay, that's good. So that just sits on there. Very cool. It's nice. Does the hood open on this? It does. It's a little detail in there. Not bad. Just a fun little vehicle. Looks nice. Get your inserted headlights. Looks like painted taillights. And it's an Aerocar, so it'll roll. And this should be true 164. So it's a fairly small vehicle. And the tires are pretty soft. Interesting. Yeah, it's very cool. So this was I've been building up a collection of Aerocars castings. I've been trying to get at least one of every casting that they've put out. So this is why I picked this one up. So it's pretty cool. All right, one more from Sparky. We have a Mclaren 720S GT3 2019. It doesn't say where it raced or who raced it or anything along those lines, just that it raced in 2019. And I guess this is kind of looks to be like maybe like the factory demo livery or something. It's the McLaren mango color that they are known for since the late 60s when they first started using this color on their cars. And it doesn't, this, yeah, this definitely, this is not actually a race livery. This is like the show car livery. I guess that's what you would call it. So you gotta zoom in on these headlights, see what's going on there. Huh. I guess they're just painted. And painted taillights. But this is an awesome car. Love this McLaren GT3. It's very cool. I think the one that I opened a couple weeks ago that had a racing livery on it was probably a little bit of a better version. But this is, you know, this is still pretty nice. And it's a Sparky, and you know, I love Sparky, and it looks like this one's even going to roll. Sparky's doing a much better job of making their models roll. They still miss every once in a while, but for the most part they're doing it, and they're not sacrificing ride height or anything to get it, so it's very cool. All right, well, that's it. Thank you for watching.